Hi, Eddie, Carl. How are you guys? Hi, Eddie, Carl. How are you guys? Live on YouTube. Hi, Eddie, Carl. How are you guys? It's live on YouTube. It's a constant echo. That's amazing. There. We'll stop that. Well, I was sitting here having lunch. I thought I'd chat with a few friends. Oh, goodness. They're piling on. Eddie, Carl, Heather, Frank. Frank says that's 6 cents more than he's made. I don't know. I think so far it's a losing proposition. Looks like lunchtime. Yes, I just went across the street. We have a Polish deli directly across the street, and I got Polish baby Gouda, baby Swiss, corned beef, horseradish, and hot mustard on actually a Jewish rye. So I've got a nice lunch. And I thought I'd share it with you all. Am I going to share the wealth? You betcha. I just started putting up entries on Get Gills. I've got the dirt up and I have one plant. When I get back to it, I'll get a lot more plants up. I'm going to do plants first. And I'll probably put about 25 species of bunch plants up. I'm going to sell them for $6.95, but there'll be 6 bunches for $25. So it'll be a good deal for somebody who's looking for enough, to kind of set up a tank. And I will do mixed species, so that'll be fun. Eddie Lanart against the flow. Carl Meyer, RB 123. Silly Susie is here having chicken fried steak, biscuits, and lima beans for lunch. Not bad. Not bad. What kind of biscuit? Tell me about your biscuit. Buy feeder guppies with 6 cents. Yeah, true. Father fish on Get Gills. How much is shipping? What I'm going to do, over $100 shipping is free and handling is free. I'm going to do free shipping on everything and charge $15 for packaging and handling. But it'll all be USPS priority. So it'll be second day delivery. I will not ship north of probably Georgia, the way things are going, until March. I'm not going to ship to areas where it's freezing because it just won't survive. Even the plants would lose them. So if it's warm, I can get there in 2 days. So if you have a 2 or 3 day warming, I can do that. Tom is coming to visit. We all need to say hello to Tom. Come here, Tom. Come on. Here's Tom. You haven't met Tom yet. Tom's a good boy. Tom is 14 years old, and he's a very gentle old man. He loves to visit. Anytime anybody comes in the shop, he goes out and says hello and looks to be petted. He's our official greeter. We have a bird who also is a greeter, but Tom is our permanent greeter. All right. Zen Ginger. Hi, Zen. Hello, Sister Lockmouth. I'm trying to get someone to come in with me. I think I've got a young man. And a couple of young men came in today who are following the channel and they want to volunteer. I've been looking for someone to go out with me to collect because I've got a couple of ideas about how I want to collect. So hopefully I'll be able to get some videos sometime soon of some collecting trips. And it's going to be real interesting because what I'm going to be shooting for is multiple species tanks are coming right out of the wild. So we'll see how all that works out. Let's see. Yes, Tom is very handsome. He's a good boy. Silly says we're getting our first snow. Texas wood fillings from a cast iron skillet filings from a cast iron skillet work to add iron in the dirt. Oh my. Well, yeah, but it'll take a couple of years for it to convert to uh, uh, a form of iron that can be taken up by by the plants. It's part of the problem with iron oxide. Iron oxide's a little further along, but not by much. I use it for that particular reason that it takes a year or two for it to really come available or be accessible. Um, and in that time, the system has depleted much of the iron that gets in there naturally. Let's see. Sun Ginger's talking about the setting up the dirted tank. It's a big help, and it does explain a lot. 12 vacuum filters, or 2 vacuum filters. Sister Lockman, I don't know what she's referring to. Not load of fish rich. Good afternoon. Hello. Hello to you. um, there are a lot of things you can put in a fish tank that are not necessarily toxic, um, and that eventually provide value to the system. I like to kind of keep that door open, and I'm willing to try a lot of different kinds of things, especially if they're organic. Anything organic pretty much is going to work in a tank. The trick is to not overdo it so that you create um, a bacterial problem that depletes the oxygen level. HC Aqua, hello. Aquaballs is here, hello. And Don Gallagher, hello, Precious. Nice to see you. Precious Tranquility is going to be doing a really exciting table this weekend in Texas at A&M, I guess, um, involving showing evolutionary development of her goldfish. It's for the Darwin Conference, so it should be a lot of fun. I am snacking, yes. He's concerned about my food intake. Well, Precious, tell us a little about, tell us some more about it. Hi, Gnarly. Nice to see you. Juice and toast. Not at all. This is green tea from Publix. It's diet green tea. Has a little bit of honey in it, not much. And this is a Polish lunch meat sandwich. Sandwich. A sandwich. Is there a delay? Yes, there's a delay. Yeah, it's about 10 seconds, I think. LSKH. Hee hee hee. The third Thursday of the month, we're having Jay speak to our club. And we're going to do it live and online. We're going to project the conversation, the types of conversation on a master screen. We're going to have a cameraman, if we can get the details worked out, who will be filming live the live audience there. It'll be a split screen with Jay Funk, and should be an absolute blast. We'll see if it works. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Annual celebration of life sciences for Darwin's birthday. Should be fun. That should be great fun. Try to get the Sens to come. You bet. Oh, let's see. Who's talking? Jeffrey is talking about somebody who's doing deep. Might be me. I don't know. Who are you talking to, Jeffrey? Is that comment intended for me, or is there somebody here doing a deep substrate for the first time? I didn't think there was. Oh, I'm caught up. Juice and toast, LSK says. Shame, shame. Uh, Punchy is here. Hello, Punchy. Nice to see you. Incidentally, Punchy, I absolutely adore your little card drawings, the charcoals and so forth. They are absolutely wonderful, and I appreciated the the sped up version that just came out. That really worked so well. Just really, really nice. I think it's a very effective kind of thing to do. Let's see. Wade Bembo, sorry. A little behind on the recent live streams, but congrats. Been with you from the start. Thank you, sir, very much. Appreciate it. And it just, we kind of breezed through it, really. I noticed there were a lot of people, probably, I don't know, 50 to 100 people who plugged in right at the end because there was a sudden spurt of subscribers that came on very quickly that pushed it over. And then that has kind of fallen off. It's been, how long has it been? A week? I lose track of time. Less than a week. I've got about 50 in the last 3 or 4 days. So that's not too bad. It's a little slow, but I think I just need to work at being more creative. One of the things I've been thinking about, I've been watching the Ant universe. which is an absolutely fascinating channel. A young man is doing all kinds of insect uh, terrariums and vivariums and the like. And he's reached a point with it now where he's introducing new and other kinds of critters, not just insects, but reptiles and aquatics as well. So I'm just kind of fascinated with it because he has reached the point in his research where he's realized that a single species cannot survive without other species providing support. So I think this is a remarkable insight and one that is especially applicable to tropical fish tanks. So I'm anxious to work harder on my black water system, which is about a 200-gallon tank that has a big trunk in the middle and flowing water, black water, deep substrate. Currently, about 20 species of fish. I just put some of the clown killies in there, and I'm adding shrimp. Again, I had some in a while back. I don't think they survived. I'm going to try them again. Um, and then I'm looking at some live bears like mollies and maybe platies. So, like that, we'll see. But there are a lot of tetras in there now. And I noticed the vampire shrimp have have spawned, and also the cockatoides have now. There are two schools of cockatoides that are approaching 3 weeks, so they're able to keep them in there, keep them safe and growing. So it's turning into the kind of thing I hoped it would, and that is creating a multi-species aquatic environment where the animals living in there really are able to thrive and multiply. So we'll see. Working more on that, but I also want to get out into some of the local ponds and ditches and do some collecting and set up the same kind of environment. I think the future of this, one of the future to this hobby, is to teach ways to be able to develop an ecosphere, an aquatic ecosphere that will house long term a number of species of animals, particularly invertebrates, insects, fish, and the like. So that's my soapbox. Now that I've crossed the 1,000 threshold, that's my new soapbox. Let's see what else here. Precious is lurking. Sneaky Zen Ginger. Mm. Wade says, glad to know you're progressing. Always kept snails with fish. I'll cook wild oak leaves to keep copepods. Yeah, absolutely. And it really is true. I find it especially true in saltwater tanks. Um, I have saltwater systems that are extremely low maintenance. I maintain a stable salinity with an RO top off system, but I rarely do much in terms of water changes or even much in the way of feeding. And what I've noticed is that because it's loaded with live rock and deep substrate, I also include a lot of plants in their native saltwater plants that the fish thrive. I've had two spawnings now of mandarin gobies. I haven't been able to save any babies, but I've had 2 spawn. So I'm real excited about that, and I've seen it through the years with saltwater. I've always known it was true with freshwater, but really didn't have the opportunity to try it. So now I'm doing that. I think I'll probably go back to that 55 dirted that I did mid-November and rework it with this in mind. So I'll have shrimp in it, other smaller creatures. It's kind of like doing the micro tanks. Same idea, except with a wide variety of plants and animals. Scooby Doo, do you know my little buddies? I can track them. Zen Ginger. So what? Where my little buddies are. Well, Jesse, you're going to have to answer a question. Let's see. Yeah, planting is good if you do it that way, Richie Rich. Put all the big plants in the back and the short ones up front. It gives you depth and allows you to see things. Now, a perspective on depth is to put smaller things toward the back, so long as they're not blocked by the larger things in front, and create some kind of a pathway leading from the large to the small. That creates a perspective of depth. So there are various ways to be able to work this. Scooby Doo. Aritra. Saw some of your videos in France. Same still 7, 8 years. Wonderful. Okay, here's the deal, Aritra, with the soils. By by maintaining a deep sand bed, a deep substrate, the soils that are initially put in, the nutritional value is going to get used up in 6 to 12 months, depending on the number of plants and animals and so forth. In the process of that nutrition being used up, plants die, fish poop, other waste is created that sifts down through the sand into the deeper substrate. And as it does and hits that anaerobic layer, it begins to break down and deteriorate and create the very nutrition that was taken out earlier. So it cycles. It does so very slowly. It's a 6 month to a 1 year process. That's why the deep substrate is important, because it has to have the various environmental levels in there in order to be able to fully achieve that process. So that being the case, if it's set up right, you never need to add fertilizers because the system is sustaining itself. By feeding the animals, you're adding nutrition to the system, which through that process provides nutrition for the plants, and the plants back down into it. So the normal food really is a substitute for adding fertilizers. Hope that starts to answer the question. I've got a number of videos on that issue. It's a little complex, but it's important to try to create the deepest substrate you can. Mollies have a personal space. That's interesting. I have not noticed that, Susan. In the wild, dominant male will maintain a harem, and they'll move in a given area. So I guess in that sense, maybe I've noticed it. Okay. Caleb collecting hickory nut husks as tiny fry cover and infusoria culture to make my tank better for my white clouds. I'd rather them have a more functional home and community breed than paired off. Absolutely. That's great. The hickory nut husks should be real high in nutritional value too. They're slow to deteriorate, but once they do, they're going to provide a lot of nutrition throughout the system. And keep in mind, there are all kinds of animals living in those top couple of inches of sand that depend on those that deterioration, those elements or those wastes working through the substrate very slowly in order for them to be able to thrive. And then they create waste, of course, that goes deeper and deeper. So there's a whole gradual and very smooth process that occurs going all the way through to the bottom and back up again. Follow up on the quarries. Once get eggs from them. Do you need to remove them? Yeah, you need to remove the eggs or remove the fish. The babies will not survive. The eggs will not survive parental predation. So you need to pull the eggs right away. It's pretty easy to do. They come off very easily, and you can put them in a bear tank and hatch them out and feed baby brine, microworm, other real fine foods, and they'll grow real well. Keep the water clean. Don't let the bottom become foul, or it'll kill them. But yeah, you need to pull the babies, pull the eggs, because the eggs will get eaten within hours of being laid. That's why you rarely see eggs on the side of the glass, because they get eaten, not because they're not being laid. They're just disappearing. Mud skippers are missing. Zen's mud skippers are missing. What is that all about? Let's see. Cody's son wants to get 10 more of something. Don't know what. Aritra, nice to talk to you. If you've got soil in your tank, Aritra, for 7 to 8 years, um, it's just cap it. Make sure it's capped with a couple of inches of sand, and it will thrive. And I've got a 20-year-old tank here that's been set up exactly the same way. I've never done a thing to it, and it grows plants and houses fish and does it really, really well. Having trouble keeping the pH stable. Good pH to hatch brine shrimp. Oh, between 8 and 9. Cody-san wants to be a moderator. Where is Cody-san? We'll get to him in a second. Would work itself up. Yes. Good pH to hatch brine shrimp. 8 to 9. It needs to be in a very strong salt water, like 30 to 40 ppm salt water, and that will maintain a very high pH. Paul Emmer is having trouble keeping pH stable. Um, you, what's the pH of your water, your supply water should be pretty high. What is that? What's the pH of your water source, Paul? I mean, Punchy paints says, or every time you planted something, some would come up and make a mess. Um, if you, yeah, that's another good reason for the sand. It prevents that. I plant my plants in the sand, not in the soil. I let the roots go down into the soil, but that way I'm not stirring things up. Alice wants to see the baby parrots. Me too. We'll probably get a look at them this weekend. I will talk to the bird lady and have her bring them over Sunday, so we'll be able to play with the parrotlets on Sunday. That'll be fun. Gravel can be used where to go instead of sand. Says Caleb. If you need an extra inch or two to keep the nutrients from leaching up, it's 2 or 3 to 1, Caleb. You can do that, but you need the gravel to be 4 to 6 inches deep. Otherwise, the water is going to flow through it much too rapidly and bring oxygen with it, which will break down that anaerobic layer. The real purpose of the sand, among other things, is to slow down that water flow. It slows down to the level where it's moving based on the little microscopic critters in there using their cilia and their whiptails and whatnot to actually flow the water. Every single grain of sand has bacteria living on it, and uh, every single bacterium is is creating current. So it creates the whole process creates a current of moving the water through the system, and it gets a lot more involved because there are also animals um, that live right at the margin between aerobic and anaerobic, and they'll dip up and down. They'll kind of swim in it like this, going down into the anaerobic where they're able to feed, and then because they're depleted of oxygen, they come back up to breathe and go back down again. Didn't know that, did you? Little known realities we become aware of when we lose our minds to this stuff. What temp for hatching brine shrimp? Just room temperature. They hatch in the Great Salt Lake all the way up to the fall. So, they will hatch at 50 and they'll hatch at 90 Fahrenheit. Try to keep them 75 to 80. You'll get a hatch every 24 hours. Um, and that's slow enough that they'll stay alive for a day or two afterwards without having to feed them. I should mention with brine shrimp, their first when they first hatch, they are not able to feed. They spend all of their stored energy making mouths, making a mouth, which they then slough off their exoskeleton to reveal so that they can begin feeding. There's a strange little critter. Let's see. Do I think there'd be a way to grow sphagnum moths in a temperate aquarium with fish? Oh yeah, absolutely. So long as the humidity is high enough, sphagnum will certainly grow. Oh, you want to grow it in the water? It'll live in the water for a couple of weeks, but it needs to come out. The best way to do that is to create a terrarium with it growing right above the water level and let it go down in it as it wants to. But it needs to be able to breathe air. Doesn't need to do it a lot, but if you can put it in the water and then every couple of weeks lift it out and put it on a rock for a few days, then you can put it back in. That works. Punchy was talking about adding perlite to the soil. Um, Perlite has no nutritional value. It does help to do exactly what sand does. It helps to percolate the soil. And if the soil is very dense, that can be helpful. The other problem with perlite is that it tends to want to float, tends to want to come up. It's a little lighter than water. So it can be a problem in that sense. Certainly not at all harmful. If you find it percolates your soil, then that's a good thing. Paul Emmer, my dirted 29-gallon. Did he put a picture up? Alice KH wants parrotlets. They are such a sweet bird. Really sweet bird. Thank you, Zen. Let's see. Oh, they're a blue and a green. We have two, one blue and one green. And I probably am going to sell them. They'll be hand tamed. Um, and if somebody wants me to ship them, I'll have to work that out. But I probably can do it. Paul Emmer, low nitrates, no ammonia. Good job. Hang in there and keep it up. You're doing great. Around Valentine's Day, uh, may watch out for a lovebird video. Chewy's talking about a lovebird video of Valentine's Day. How sweet. That's cool. That'll be real sweet, Chewy. And Alice loves it. Alice says Valentine's Day isn't a big thing here, though. Well, it is here, Alice, and you're just going to have to join in our festivities because without you and Precious and all the other girls hanging around here, I wouldn't have any Valentine at all. So I appreciate you. You'll be my Valentines. Let's see. Carl put out a minute video of his nana. We'll have to check that out. That'll be cool. Somebody prefers Halloween. Oh dear. Where did that go? I missed something here. Paul Emmer. pH was 6, shrimp died. I guess you did a 25% change. I'll put some baking soda in it, Paul. And just put it in it until you get it up to like 7.5. Just keep putting it in. It will add carbonates and it'll hold it. You may simply need to dose routinely when you do water changes. Unless you've got an awful lot of biological activity in there, it should not be dropping, unless, of course, you're lacking carbonates, and it sounds like you must be. So you need to do that. Another thing I like to add to keep the pH level up, the carbonate level up, is diatomaceous earth. That's pure calcium, and it provides a lot of carbonates in the water. So try those two things. Dooby-doo sister Lockmo is asking Paul how long his tank has been running. Add an inch of sand, call me in the morning. Where are we? Yeah. Smart ass. Father Fisher, smart ass. Why am I not? Come on. I've lost my mouse. I cannot see the mouse. There it is. Scary and awesome at the same time. I think I need to back up here. I do need to back up. Oh, Don uses perlite as an incubation medium for colubrid. Yeah, absolutely. It does hold moisture well, so you don't get it. You don't get things drying out. Kayla uses it in his Oaxaca tank. Coffee filter. Aquaball's trying to. I've missed a bunch of stuff here. Cleaning the brine shrimp. Uh, you clean the brine shrimp by putting the light alongside after you take the air stone out. The shrimp will come to the light. You then use a 1/4 inch hose to siphon them out through. I like to use a silk handkerchief because it's very fine weave. 42 watching, 28 likes. Okay, we're back up to the Halloween comment. It was Chewy's. Prefer Halloween. All right, let me move down now. Yeah, coffee filter really doesn't work for brine shrimp because you get the eggs mixed in with the shrimp. Now, I'll tell you what I like to use is decapsulated hatching brine shrimp. That way you don't have any eggs. Um, you do get a lot of bacteria buildup over a period of time, like a week or so. Polymer pH problem in my 29-gallon. Again, try the perlite doesn't have any calcium in it, I don't think. Try the sodium bicarbonate and diatomaceous earth. George Zen is asking George how his Venice are doing. Thank you, bluegill and bass. Have you seen my peacock? I've got a 4-pound peacock in my 500-gallon. Should have a video on it. Paul, a pH of 6 is way too low. You need to get it up to 7.5 if you want the shrimp to hold up. They want hard alkaline water. Sorry to break that to you. I think I got way behind here. Apparently. Shooting my mouth off. Oh, JH asks me how am I? I am okay. I'm in great shape for the shape of it. I've got so many issues, but I tell you, I got a little secret. I have an uncle, my father's brother, just turned 92. He's got heart disease and has for 30 years. Heart disease, diabetes. He's not overweight. He was, he's not overweight. All the things I've got bothering me. He's been living with for 30 years and he's 92. So I'm not worried about it. I'm just trying to get, at this point, trying to get control of my weight. That's the main thing I'm worried about. Wade Benbow, a rat system to make the sphagnum grow. Yeah, absolutely. Good idea. That works. Absolutely. A rat system for the sphagnum. You betcha. James doesn't like Valentine's. Worst holiday, bring on the 4th. Well, if it's going to be a choice between the two, I agree on the 4th. But there's something very emotional about Valentine's Day. Maybe that's the issue. What is today, Joseph? Zen says. Major moves today. Vermont bound, JH. Oh my. Vermont. Vermont. I used to live right outside of Vermont in Northfield, Massachusetts, which has it's the the place in Mass where Vermont, New Hampshire meet. They all come together right in that little town in Northfield, Massachusetts. See if I can get caught up a little here. Tell Amber, Chewy is sent to Texas. Try to make the earth out to add calcium. Yeah, it works really well and it settles. I mean, it's fine. So it's going to be cloudy in the water a bit, but it settles out very nicely. Alice Cage, so I have to go to America on the Valentine. Where are you, Alice? 8 weeks for JA. Ah, Boston Aquarium Society. I was never active. I was in college in Boston for a heck of a long time. 4 years, I guess. Never was active in the club. That was, I'm sure there was one. That was in the 60s, a very long time ago. So Chewy has invited JH and Alice to join the Boston Aquarium Society. Oh, at JH. Okay. Here we do. That's nice. JH says, life is passing me by as long as I stay here. Boy, do I understand that. I've been in Florida 30 years, and if I had a better place to move to, I'd do it. But I don't. Oh, God. I really want to get out of here, but I can't figure out where to go. And I'm kind of locked into the shop now, which is like a ball and chain. If you're married, you can move. If you got a retail store, it's hard to do anything. Life is passing you by. Well, come on now, JH. You can make life where you are. Paul, I recommend you test your KH carbonate. Absolutely. Good advice, Don. That's the key. We're going to be here till we get 50 likes. So you may as well start pushing the button. Get it on. Now that was interesting. Where to go? Asking if you're on well water. I got so far behind here. I'm never going to catch up. Oh God. I may as well give it up. I was doing so well too. And then I started shitting my mouth off. And that ended it. Does anyone know how Tracy from OFR is doing? All right, we're going to just jump down here. Tom Patterson Tracy is stable on life support. That's against the flow. Well, that's good. Prayers for Tom Patterson Tracy. 92. Yeah, I know. Me too, Fish Ridge. Thank you, Zen and Kaylor. Now, who was it that was supposed to? I lost track of what we were doing. Aquatics against the flow. Paul says, how do you know when a tank is fully cycled? That's a really, really good question. Really, really good question. How do you know when a tank is fully cycled? Honest to God. I guess it's fully cycled when you can throw a pound of food in it and nothing dies. How do you know when it's fully cycled? I think a tank, here it is. I got it. I think no tank is ever fully cycled. Cycling is a function of the ability of the system to convert waste product like ammonia. A tank can be fully cycled based on the volume of ammonia that's being produced. If that's 20 fish and the tank is flowing along nicely with 20 fish, then the tank is balanced for that biological load. If you add to it, increase the biological load, then the tank is out of balance and it has to reestablish a balance. Now, if you do that fairly slowly, it'll do it all by itself and it'll do it naturally. If, however, you suddenly throw a block of meat into the tank and let it sit there for a week, you're probably going to lose everything because the nitrifying bacteria won't be able to keep up with the ammonia load that's being created. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Sean, did you ask if Father Fish has shell dwellers? Alice KH says, no, Alice, Sean didn't ask me that. And yes, I do. But I don't have any babies. I'm still waiting for babies. It's been about 6 months and I got no babies. I think maybe I don't have any males. Uh, Boston Aquarium Society started in 1916. Wow. The year before my father was born. I think my father was born around the same time. He was 54 and 74. So he was born in 1920. Is that right? Or no, a little earlier. 16, I guess. Yeah, I think my father was born the same year, 1916. 17 along in there. Thought you and I were switching abodes, Tennessee to Florida, says Kaler. Well, I'd like Tennessee. You want to come down and take us over? What do you got? Whatever you got to offer is better than I got, so I'm for it. Besides, I like Tennessee. And I really would like to get up there and collect some of those darters. God, I love those darters. They are so pretty. Then Ginger, Lucas. Yeah, Lucas is moving somewhere. I'm gonna try to get him to come to Florida. I don't know. Is he going to the islands? I didn't get clear about where he was thinking about moving to. Jason says grass is never greener on the other side. Well, no, but it may smell different. Well, let's see. I keep losing my place here. Oh, so William says the island won't survive with both of them there. So Joseph is moving. So maybe he's turning it all over to Lucas. That would be cool. That would be fun. I think Lucas would love that. He needs to be, yeah, the islands would be great for him. Absolutely would. I've been to the islands. I've lived in some of the islands. And it's a lifestyle not like anything here in the States. Hunchy trying to sell his house. Yeah, I know. I know, because he needs somebody to take over his place, don't you? I would just jump down. Didn't think you were here when you mentioned um, Coast Aquatics saying missed all that. No, he's Caleb Lucas had tried to sell it as is of a piece, just the whole operation. I wouldn't want to try to do that. Amber's having a baby. Wow. Wow. Well, he probably really does need to just get into a warmer climate that's real peaceful and serene. He's such a serene guy. You'll love it. What kind of shell dwellers? I don't know. I don't have the striped ones. I got the other ones. If it helps. William Prodmore says hello. And Chewy says, ha ha ha. Let's see. Are we there? Am I at the bottom? I'm at the bottom. I've left out a lot, I'm sure. But we hit the bottom. Okay. Now, since I'm at the bottom of the page, is there anybody who have bred any darters? Have I bred any darters? Gee whiz. Not since I was a kid up on the Chesapeake Bay. So it's been a long, long time. I really would like to. I just love them. Oh, okay. So I'm at the bottom, and my question is have I missed anything that somebody wants to uh, throw at me in hopes that I'll stumble and fall or say something brilliant, whichever comes first. Uh, weeks, months, yeah, whenever, William. I think it's a whenever. So Lucas has talked about moving before. Yeah, he needs to be in a warm climate. Absolutely does. That's what keeps me in Florida. Okay, I'm at the bottom. Hello to Fish House, says Dennington. What do we have? Did we hit 50? 45. We need five more. 47 watch. Fish House. You need to sieve soil before use. No, you do not need to sieve the soil. Just leave it as it is. I'm a sand substrate for a 15 to 20 gallon small fish load. Well, you want to try to get a minimum of 3 inches. If that bothers you, go to 2.5. But try not to get under 2.5. Anything below that, you're not going to be able to maintain an anaerobic layer, which means you won't be able to create that balance. So 2.5 to 3 inches. 15 to 20 gallon tank. If it's a tall, is going to be what's that? 16. How tall is a 20? Tall. 16, I guess. So leave a foot. Yeah, I know that's the issue, silly. The darters are all cold water fish. I can't keep them here. I've tried, and they just don't live. Apparently, Amber has got the endangered killifish banded, so she's keeping Chewy's fish. Cool. Tennessee's a warm climate. Yeah, I think I would enjoy Tennessee. Kayla, I really do. And Zen says it's getting down to 36 where she is. Yeah, we've had it that temperature this winter, one night. Same in Kentucky. Silly says it's snowing in the desert. All right, we're gonna we didn't we're stuck at 45, aren't we? You know what? I think I can kick it to 46. Ta-da. Me. I did that. 47. Yeah, I might be able to get to 48. I got two computers open here. Let me check this if I can get down. Can I scroll now? No. Oh, I can't. I'm on SteamYard. I can't do it here. 47. Um Father Fish, are you gonna do a Valentine stream? Alice, I would not dare not do it. Absolutely, I will do a Valentine stream. The 14th. What day of the week is that? Where's my something to tell time with? Today is the 5th. So next Wednesday is 12th, so it's Friday. Next Friday is Valentine's Day. You betcha. We're going to do a Valentine's Day stream for all of my lady friends here on FishTube. That'll be sweet. Thank you, Justin. I don't know if you got the word, but I went in and checked my income this morning, and after 2 days of making money on YouTube, I am richer to the tune of 6 cents. I'm fired up. It's really exciting. Can I talk about the birds in that stream? Chewy says, yeah, I need to do that. I need to be doing a lot more. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Zen Ginger. My goodness sakes. $1.99. What is, I don't even know what this is. With a heart. That is so sweet. Thank you. So this is the first, I trust, of several. Um, I don't even know what these things are called. What is this called? What am I doing? I don't even know. Zen Ginger just sent me $1.99. That is so fired up. I am so excited. Thank you. This you've more than how many? Oh, I can't even count that high. More than 33 times the amount that YouTube paid me. Thank you, Zen Ginger. You are a dear. You absolutely are. Chewy. Yeah, I'm going to talk about birds. We will do that. And I'll try to have the babies here. Mr. B, fishing things. Valentine's Day stream. I'm going to think about this. Yeah, really, Justin says, I'm $2 and a nickel richer. Ha ha. Fabulous. Super chat. That's a super chat. And here comes Kaler with $5 and Daniken with 10. Whoa. Oh my goodness. We're going to get overwhelmed here. The hospital is calling me. I decided not to do that. I'm supposed to do cardiac rehab, and I've decided not to do it because I don't want to sit on the machine 3 hours a week. Am I familiar with Uganda near Lake Victoria? Well, I know it exists, Chewy. Not much beyond that. YouTube takes 30% off super chats. Even so, thank you, Kaler, and thank you, Daniken. How sweet it is. Love you guys. This is so much fun. Okay, where are we now? We're Lost track. Okay, oh, there we are. How will I spend the extra money? Buy fish. That's easy. That's how I spend all my extra money. And even money that's not extra. I buy fish. Exciting when he needs cardiac rehab. Home exercise program. Yeah, I think so too, Kaler. And that's really where I'm at. I'm kind of getting back into it. I've got a good diabetic doctor who's works with me, and he's getting a new office and going to set up a new program for me. So I'm excited about that. Kate Chewy, subscriber works for the National Park in Uganda, has an avid interest in North American cold animals. Cold animals. Hum, hum. And again, I say hum. Okay, Father. Kaler says, wait until Mr. Zen and I get into a super chat battle. Whoa. I don't know if I can handle it. Do a home exercise for, yeah, right. Thank you, Kaler. Yeah, and Sean's saying the same thing or saying something. Sean's had the same thought about that or something else. Oh, about Zen saying we're exciting and we need cardiac rehab. Well, I guess I'm back long enough to say goodbye. I love you guys. Thank you so much. See you on Sunday. Bye for now.